Okay, so you want to know if banks are about to become like the gatekeepers of the crypto world? Well, you sent over some really interesting articles about Bank of America.
Okay.
And their CEO, Brian Moynihan, he did an interview with CNBC on January 21st, 2025. Right as President Trump was taking office.
Yes. And the timing of this interview is really key, I think.
Why is that?
Well, because the U.S. government had been making it like really difficult for banks to deal with anything even remotely crypto related. There was this thing called Operation Choke Point 2.0, which is basically like an attempt to just completely discourage banks from working with any crypto businesses.
Right.
They also had this SEC rule called SIB 121, which made it just a total nightmare for banks to offer crypto services because they had to treat all customer crypto holdings as liabilities on their balance sheets.
Oh, wow.
Which is...
So basically the government was saying, like, stay away from crypto.
Yeah.
And a lot of crypto companies actually ended up leaving the U.S. because of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Trump gets elected, a president who is very openly pro-crypto.
Right.
And suddenly Moynihan is saying that Bank of America is ready to come in hard on crypto transactions.
Wow.
But only if there are very clear regulations.
Okay.
So it's almost like they're just waiting for the green light.
It really does feel like a waiting game, especially since Trump campaigned on being like so pro-business, but didn't even mention Bitcoin or crypto in his inauguration speech.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Well, it seems like actions speak louder than words in this case.
Okay.
David Bailey, the CEO of BTC Inc., tweeted that President Trump signed several crypto-related executive orders, like in his first few days in office.
Oh, interesting. So is it safe to say that the U.S. is shifting towards a more crypto-friendly environment?
It certainly seems that way. There's even talk of Trump pardoning Ross Ulbricht, the founder of the Silk Road online marketplace, which was shut down by the government, back in 2013.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so we've got a new pro-crypto president, and banks are waiting for the signal to jump into the crypto market.
Right.
But what exactly does Bank of America want to do in the crypto space?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not looking to become the next Coinbase, are they?
It doesn't seem so. Moynihan specifically mentioned being interested in the transactional side of crypto.
Okay.
He even used the phrase non-anonymous transactions verified, which tells us a lot about their approach, I think.
So what do you make of that?
Yeah.
Non-anonymous transactions verified.
Right.
What does that even mean in the context of crypto?
Well, think about what banks are already good at.
Okay.
I mean, they move money around securely and transparently.
Right.
That's their core business.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily interested in like the speculative side of crypto.
Yeah.
But they see an opportunity to apply their expertise to the world of digital assets.
So are you saying they're more interested in things like stable coins, which are pegged to the value of the U.S. dollar?
Exactly. They could also play a role in the development of central bank digital currencies.
Okay.
Or CBDCs, which are basically, digital versions of national currencies issued by central banks themselves.
I have to admit, I'm still wrapping my head around CBDCs.
Yeah.
What would those look like for everyday people?
Well, imagine a world where you could like hold and spend digital dollars directly through your bank.
Okay.
Just like you do with physical cash today. That's essentially what a CBDC could enable.
Okay.
And banks would likely play a key role in managing and distributing these digital currencies.
Wow. So banks could become the bridge between traditional finance and this new world of digital currencies.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if crypto is actually a threat to the US dollar, or if it's just another tool in the financial system.
Right. That's a great question, and one that a lot of people are asking.
Yeah.
Moynihan himself seemed pretty relaxed about it in his interview.
Okay.
He basically said that he sees crypto as just another payment option alongside existing systems like, credit cards and bank transfers.
Do you think that's a realistic view? Or is he like downplaying the potential impact of crypto?
That's a really good question, and to be honest, it's not an easy one to answer.
Okay.
There are definitely arguments to be made on both sides.
All right. Well, let's unpack those arguments then. What are the reasons to believe that crypto could actually disrupt the U.S. dollar's dominance?
Well, we've already seen countries like El Salvador adopt Bitcoin as legal tender.
Right.
And while El Salvador is a relatively small economy, it does set a precedent. What if other larger economies start to follow suit?
Yeah.
That could definitely shake things up.
And on the other side of the argument, what are the reasons to think that the US dollar will remain strong despite the rise of crypto?
Well, the US dollar has been the world's reserve currency for decades.
Right.
It's deeply entrenched in the global financial system. And there's a lot of inertia there.
Okay.
It would take a lot to dislodge it from that position.
So maybe Moynihan is right. Maybe crypto will end up coexisting with the dollar and other traditional currencies rather than replacing them.
It's certainly a possibility. Another possibility is that he's being strategic by downplaying the threat of crypto.
Okay.
He might not want to spook Bank of America's customers or shareholders,
right,
by suggesting that their money is at risk.
So basically, we're still in the early stages of this whole crypto revolution, and it's hard to predict exactly how things will play out.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so fascinating. Where we're witnessing the birth of a new financial system, and there are a lot of unknowns.
Right.
But one thing's for sure, it's going to be a wild ride.
Well, on that note, let's dive into what Bank of America's involvement in the crypto space could actually look like for everyday consumers.
Okay.
Like how would this affect how we bank, how we spend money, even how we think about money itself?
That's a great place to pick up.
Yeah.
Let's imagine a world where your bank account is also like your crypto wallet.
Okay.
You could seamlessly transfer funds between, traditional dollars and say Bitcoin. All within your regular online banking app.
That does sound pretty convenient. Yeah. Would it be as simple as sending someone money through Venmo today?
Potentially even simpler. Yeah. You wouldn't need a separate app for crypto transactions. It would all be integrated into your existing bank account.
So I could pay for my morning coffee with Bitcoin just as easily as I do with my debit card now.
That's the idea.
Wow.
Of course, there would need to be widespread adoption on the merchant side as well.
Right.
But if banks become major players in the crypto space, that could certainly accelerate things.
Okay, so that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
But you mentioned earlier that there could be some downsides to this too.
Right.
What are we giving up in exchange for this convenience?
Well, one concern is privacy. Okay. I mean, right now banks have, a lot of information about our spending habits. But if they're also handling our crypto transactions,
right,
that gives them even more insight into our financial lives.
That's true. And couldn't that data be used against us in some way?
Yeah.
What if banks start, denying loans or credit cards based on our crypto activity?
That's definitely a possibility. And it raises important questions about data ownership and control.
Right.
Who has the right to our financial data?
Yeah.
And how can we ensure that it's being used responsibly?
Those are some serious concerns. And what about security?
Yeah.
I mean, banks are already, prime targets for hackers.
Of course.
If they start holding large amounts of crypto,
right,
won't that make them even more vulnerable to cyber attacks?
Absolutely. Security is a huge issue.
Right.
The more valuable assets banks hold, the more attractive they become to criminals.
Right.
They would need to invest very heavily in cybersecurity measures to protect both their own systems and their customers' funds.
So it sounds like there are some serious trade-offs to consider.
Yeah.
Convenience versus privacy.
Right.
Security versus accessibility.
Exactly.
It's almost like we're trading one set of problems for another.
In a way, yes. But I think it's important to remember that this is all still very much in flux. The crypto world is evolving rapidly.
Right.
And the role of banks is still being defined.
So what should we as consumers be paying attention to as this story unfolds?
Yeah.
What are the key things to watch out for?
I think the biggest thing is regulation.
Okay.
How governments choose to regulate the crypto space will have a huge impact on how banks interact with it? Will they encourage innovation or try to stifle it?
Right.
Will they prioritize consumer protection or industry growth?
Yeah.
These are all crucial questions that are still being debated.
And how can we make sure that our voices are heard in these debates?
It's important to stay informed, engage with your elected officials, and support organizations that are advocating for responsible crypto policies.
So it sounds like this is about much more than just technology. It's about the future of our financial system.
Right.
And the role that we as individuals want to play in shaping it.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential benefits and drawbacks of banks becoming, crypto gatekeepers.
Yeah.
We've discussed the privacy and security concerns,
right.
And we've touched on the importance of regulation. But what about the big picture question?
Yeah.
What does all of this mean for the future of money itself?
That's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
And one that I don't think anyone has a definitive answer to yet.
Okay.
But I think we can safely say that we're at a crossroads.
What do you mean by that?
Well, for centuries, our financial system has been built on trust in central authorities, governments, central banks, commercial banks.
Right.
We trust them to manage our money, keep it safe, and ensure its value.
And crypto is like challenging that trust.
In a way, yes. Crypto is decentralized.
Okay.
It operates outside of traditional financial institutions.
Right.
It offers an alternative system of value exchange that doesn't rely on intermediaries.
So is this the beginning of the end for traditional finance?
It's too early to say for sure.
Okay.
But I think it's safe to say that things are going to look very different in the years to come.
So what's the key takeaway for our listener today?
Yeah.
What should they be thinking about as they navigate this new financial landscape?
I think the most important thing is to stay curious and informed.
Okay.
Keep learning about crypto, explore different perspectives, and don't be afraid to ask questions. This is a complex and rapidly evolving space.
Yeah.
And there's no one right answer.
So basically, we're all on this journey of discovery together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And who knows where it will lead us.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to bring this deep dive to a close. But before we go, I do want to leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Okay.
Imagine a world where your bank account is also your crypto wallet. You can seamlessly buy Bitcoin, pay your bills,
right,
even send money overseas, all with the same ease as you do now.
It's a compelling vision, isn't it?
Yeah.
The convenience.
Yeah.
The potential for lower fees, faster transactions.
Right.
It's easy to see why so many people are excited about the possibility.
Yeah, it definitely sounds appealing, but I think it's important to remember that convenience often comes at a price.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And in this case, the price could be our privacy, our security.
Right.
Our very control over our own finances.
So as you continue exploring this evolving landscape, ask yourself, what are you willing to trade for the convenience of a crypto-powered world? What are the potential risks and rewards?
Yeah.
And most importantly, what kind of future do you want to create?
Those are great questions to consider. And I think they highlight the importance of staying engaged and informed.
Yeah.
We're all shaping this future together, whether we realize it or not.
Well said. And on that note, I want to thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of banks and crypto.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking questions.